Now you tell me that that is not super beautiful palm. Look at this. Look at the color. Look at the color. No, it's right here. Look, right here. Look at the color. Right there. All right, ready? One. It's like a magic trick. 1, 2, 3. One. Wait. Hold on. It's a little slower than a magic trick. 1, 2, 3. Look at the color. Look at the color. Okay, keep your mind focused on the color. Now look at the color. I know it's confusing. Vivid, beautiful green. Now look at the color. White. It's so cool. This is Brahea, brandeegei, one of my good friends. They're all my friends. Look at how this thing glows. It's really translucent because it's so thin. Oh, so beautiful. Okay, so this is a tree that's extremely rare. It's basically like my old friend Bob Fowler. I don't know if he's still alive or not. He was a product of the 60s, and he had a very creative mind because of things he did in the 60s. A lot of things. He used to work for me. He was a really cool guy. But he knew everything about these palms, taught me a lot. And anyway, this video is dedicated to you, Bob. Somehow Bob, in the 15 years ago, found a bunch of these rare palms. These palms are native to Mexico. They're native to the mountains of Baja. I fell in love with them when Bob kind of introduced me to this species. And they grow in the mountains behind like Todos Santos, where we surf down in Mexico. I took all my friends up there. They thought I was a nut on this dirt road. we almost lost the van down into a deep, steep ravine where it rolled forever down the bottom. But luckily, we got all these rocks out. I put everybody to work, all my surf buddies, and put rocks under the tires after the van started sliding off this narrow road. And then everybody watched me as I drove the van out. I was the guy that was gonna like jump out of the door as the van made its first catapult, so it didn't just go and then make me expire. But I didn't need to do that. But I had a plan in my head. But anyway, we went up and saw these trees in habitat. And once my buddies like got up to the trees, and then they saw this, and they saw this by the thousands. They were awestruck, and they were speechless. And I think I converted them right then and there. But anyway, Brahea brandeegei. Bob Fowler, if you're watching, you will remember that somewhere down in some backward nursery in the middle of the mountains of San Diego somewhere, where it looked like the police don't go. A lot of dope growers, a lot of sketchy stuff going on way back in the mountains. There was a guy growing these things, and they were the biggest ones we'd ever seen. And Bob said, "You need to buy every one of them, Gary, every single one of them." So I did. And as Bob Fowler would say, this is like a Mexican fan palm that went to finishing school. It has a smaller head. It has that beautiful translucent front. It has the blue of the blue palm in the back and the lush green of like a coconut palm on the front. And it has this really beautiful leaf pattern or petiole pattern going up the trunk. It's really textural, really pretty. You can actually see there's a swirl. See the swirl there and here. But eventually that does fall off, and it leaves a nice hard ringed trunk on the inside. So anyway, Bob convinced me to buy all these palms. There's a lot of medium-sized single palms, but there are some multi-palms. This is one of them. This was a triple. So sad. One of them died. It lingered for years. So I'm up here at the ranch and doing this garden out here. And so here's a double I planted some years ago. And then I have another double. I'll give you a tour over here. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. So basically this place is we grow palms here. We grow citrus here. And most importantly, I'm turning this into the most amazing botanical garden ever. I made that hanging bench. How cool is that? But it's still not finished after 9 years. I do this in my spare time. Anyway, look, this is what happens when the bark starts to fall off. Makes a beautiful trunk pattern. Here's another one. It's starting to flower. And this, again, is a double. So we have a double, and what used to be a triple over there, which is now a double, way over there. And now, after building all these paths and everything, I need a palm right here. And so I can sit here, and and this is going to be kind of an Airbnb or whatever, VRBOB, wedding destination, whatever. All of my geek horticultural friends across YouTube land can come here and stay here for a little while. You got to pay me because it's not free to maintain this place. Just paid the property taxes yesterday. It just about killed me. Especially with no income with COVID right now. It's see how long we can last. Anyway, we need a palm right here, right? So what do? Well, the most marquee palm of them all, of my Brahea brandeegei that Bob Fowler convinced me to buy, was planted in my demonstration garden for a long time in Richmond. And we're moving that garden. Here it is. Look at this. It's a big triple. This is probably the rarest. I can nearly guarantee that there is not another palm like this in gardens or in nurseries on earth. If you could prove me wrong, I would love to know. Look at this. You have about a 8 or 9 foot of trunk mother right there. And then you have, that's a papa bear. We'll call that papa bear, just to kind of keep you guys straight. And then we have a mama bear. Everybody loves mama bear. And she's probably about 6 or 7 foot of trunk. And then we have a little baby bear. Little baby bear is about 4 foot of trunk. So they have like 9 and 6 and 4. This is what everybody wants. They want a triple that was all grown together. It wasn't manipulated. These were grown from seed together for probably 30 years because they're all connected. If you planted individual plants, they'd be separated, but these are all connected. And a papa bear, mama bear, and baby bear. Everybody wants that. So this tree was never for sale. I finally bought a building, an old derelict liquor store next to my nursery, so we moved the whole entrance and demonstration garden from one side where we were sort of homeless from a building standpoint to this new liquor store, which I made pretty nice, at least on the outside. And we're still working on it. You know, can't. And what can I say, man? I'm trying my hardest. Every dollar I make, I put into this whole thing. But, you can't just have everything at once, right? It takes a lifetime. So we're going to put it right here. The problem is that the crane will reach this far at 2,700 pounds. It'll reach 54 feet. But I think that's going to weigh more like 5,000 pounds. So twice as much as So I think I might have to drag it. It's going to be kind of interesting. So you can see here how close I was able to get without destroying my beautiful flagstone. And what's interesting here is this crazy soil we have. Whenever it gets moist, here's the profile. I'm going to plant another palm here. It loses all its structural capacity. It's the strangest thing ever. Like trucks just immediately sink. And that was starting to happen here. They'll go all the way to it did. It went all the way. It went all the way to the axle. Look at that. Went all the way to the frame. The frame, it landed on the frame. I'll be able to get it out because I have these outriggers and the crane. I can counterweight it and stuff like that. But it's just really intriguing here. If you ever come up here, when I finally open this place up, do not drive around off the roads. You see, the road's compacted, so it doesn't happen. The moment you get off the road, that's what happens. Anyway, so wish me luck. We're going to see if my Purple Rain crane truck will... I need to write Purple Rain right here, right there. So I just put this whole truck together. Might even look for a video I'm putting out on that. Anyway, there it is. So we're going to see what will happen. Wish me luck. Just like I thought. I'm at red line right now, almost. Still pretty far away. So, it's gonna get interesting. Okay, well, we know the palm weighs more than 2,300 pounds. We know it weighs more than 2,700 pounds. Probably weighs about 3,500, something like that. Because that's where we are right now. We're about that radius, about 38 feet, and it doesn't want to pick it up. We have a little meter here that tells us so. And so now we have to drag it. I know. It's a drag. We gotta drag it. You ever thought about words, how they're made? Probably like dragging something is just, it's just no fun. Like, who wants to drag something, right? It's a drag. I love how words are made and how they become multiple meaninged. Anyway, we're gonna drag it, and that's a total drag because we're gonna wipe out this wall when we do that. I think we could do it. Think we could do it, Manuel? Sí?
¿Eh?
Sí or no?
Sí.
¿Es posible?
Es posible, sí.
No. Okay, we gotta get it from here to there. It doesn't look very far. Look, it's like a bridge too far. No, or is that bridge over River Kwai? Or I don't know, something like that. It's like that. Well, it's not like that, but anyway, somehow we'll get there. We'll see. Of course, and par for the course, I am working blind. Trees over there. So I have to be like Luke Skywalker and use the palm force. So I can't see exactly what's going on, but I can feel it. And if you do this long enough, it's almost like you do it in your sleep, in the dark. It's almost in the dark. So here we go. And that's just what you have to deal with sometimes when you're trying to get something big in. You got to rebuild your little rock wall. All right, so look, we're right on the edge of the hole. And the trick is and it's actually configured exactly right. Mama bear is on the right, Papa bear is on the left, little baby bear is in the middle. Because the viewpoint, you always have to decide what's the most important view line you have in a garden, and then you have to face your plants that way. With this one here, the most important view line was from the front porch. So you can see we have the double profile of that plant from this angle. And you can see also from the front porch, same thing over there. We had a nice triple, which is now a double. And you can see baby bears on the left, mama bears on the right, and big papa bear is in the background. But with this tree, it's different because this really isn't the most important viewpoint. Most important viewpoint for this tree is going to be from the center vortex fountain, which is pretty much like here and across the garden. So there's your triple. There's your front, left, right. That's the viewpoint. And it looks to me like we have kind of a square dug, but if we put it in diagonal, it'll probably fit. So you can see here's like the square. Boom and boom. And it needs to go in just like this. Except our square is boom and does not match. We are completely off. I think the hole's big enough though, it'll handle it. So a little bit of nudging and persuasion, I think maybe I'll get it there. So I'm still not sure. What I don't want to do is have to get my little tractor in here, put a bunch of plywood on top of my flagstone, and drive across all these plants and give it some help. It's the last thing I want to do. So that's what I'm trying to avoid. Here we go.
Yeah.
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 So the crane is holding most of it. And as you can see, I can move it a little bit, shovel, and get it a little closer. So we might just have to keep playing this game for a while. And hopefully, ow! Ow, that really hurt, Charlie! My finger got stuck between the shovel and the rock. Right there, see that? This is, you should see my hands. They're the worst hands ever. But it shows that I've gotten stuff done. Yeah, okay, that's as far as that'll go. All right, I gotta put a little pressure on the crane. We're getting close. Look how close we are. We got a little closer. We're so close. We're so close. Manuel, show the world how it's done. Yeah. Show them how strong you are. Look. Look, Manuel's moving the whole tree. Oh, look. Look, it's moving. Look at Manuel. He's like Superman. Superman. Super hombre. Yeah, look, it's moving. Poquito más. Poquito. Superman. Super hombre. Huh, okay. We're getting closer. Okay, let's go play with the crane some more. Okay. So we keep putting, getting different angle on the crane. Put a little pressure until the crane maxes out. And then we give it a little hand persuasion. So we're so close. Like, I don't know, 2 or 3 feet. So let's, I knew this was going to be, you know, it becomes instinctual eventually, where you just know. You're like, you know what? I bet I'll get real close, but I won't quite get it there. Sometimes you know you got it. Other times you hit the ball, and you're like, is that going to make it over the fence? I don't know. Oh, and then it hits the warning track. You're like, damn, that was for the World Series. Warning track. They call that warning track power. I have warning track power. Awesome. Okay, so what we did here, we did one less wrap. You know, sometimes they gotta double wrap the burrito because it's so big. That's usually what they have to do for me. Well, when you double wrap the burrito, I mean the strap's not as long. It grabs the tree really good, just like it grabs all the stuff in the burrito real good, but it's not gonna be as long. But you can see I have this orange tree, which I'm arguably like thinking, you know, you need to go because you're not performing like you used to. But another story. But I still don't want to. We'll see if it recovers this spring. We had some terrible winds last year that were drying out, and anyway, long story. But yeah, so we don't want to hurt the orange tree, so I can't go any lower with the boom. I can make this thing go out farther, but only if I'm high with the hook. I'm not going to be high with the hook. The hook is going to be high above the palm, to be perfectly frank. Actually, that's not my name, but anyway, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be up above, and then that'll give us a straighter line of attack, and that should give us just a little bit of extra pull to get this thing in the hole. And with Super Manuel, we are going to get it done somehow, some way. Here. Let's see, how would you do it? We were like literally within just a couple feet of getting this stuff done. Oh, look. Hey. It's going. It's like having a baby, but in reverse. Well, not totally like that, but a little bit. Oh, so close. So close. Look, what's happening? Oh, we had a baby. And Ron and I had a baby together. Elbow. That's how you do it these days. I think that's going to be close enough. I feel like get a little more. Maybe poquito más. Maybe. The only problem is we keep spinning it that way. Anyway, I'm going to turn the camera off and work a little. See if I get it perfect. It's pretty darn close. This actually isn't so bad. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect. I was thinking that Papa Bear would be on the left, Mama Bear on the right, Baby Bear out there, but yeah, whatever. Maybe we can manipulate. We got it here though. I'd like to get a little closer if I could. There's gonna be a dry stream bed through here, like a Baja stream bed, just like these things grow in habitat. So I'll get it all untied, give you the final shot, but it looks like we got it. You guys probably don't need to watch us move every inch. Anyway, that's it. Never, ever, ever, ever underestimate Egyptian methods, okay? But here we want to take up this gap because I'm a perfectionist, which is really one of my downfalls, actually. Try not to be a perfectionist. It really slows you down in life. Anyway, stuff comes out really nice, but how much can you get done when you worry about little things like that? But I'm going to do it because I'm obsessed. Anyway, so this thing won't move. We're lucky to get it this far. But I suddenly thought about it, and I thought, okay, well, what needs to happen in here? For us to rotate this root ball in, because I want Papa Bear over here and Mama Bear over there, and I also want to take up that gap. So how do I do it? Well, I can't lift the tree up. What I can do, though, is move the strap over to that would be Papa Bear. Pick up Papa Bear as much as I can, therefore taking the weight off of this side, and then rotating him in that way, which should actually sort of move the whole plant and get us as close as we possibly can be to perfection, which is what, like I mentioned, I'm all about. So here we go. And just like that, woo, 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 we have some more tropical paradise in my garden right here. Look at this. It changes everything. So it takes a little bit of a village to plant a palm tree, just like it takes a village to do a lot of things in life. Crane wasn't totally able to do it. So Superman and Scary Harry Gary got in there, rolled up our sleeves, and gave it some gentle persuasion. And we finally got it to where it needed to be, inch by inch. But then it was leaning the wrong way, and the crane just couldn't pull it upright. It was leaning too far this way. So I hooked up to this one here and picked up as much as I could, which moved it a little bit, but that still didn't do the trick. So I thought, and it probably, the average person, it wouldn't take so long to devise this solution. I'm just a little slower than most. But I've got a lot of personality to make up for it. Anyway, so what I finally devised was I had this little rope, just a 3/8 inch rope, not very strong rope at all. But if you put it high in the trunk of the tree and you have so much leverage at that point that you don't really need to pull very hard or very strong to get it to move. And so I got out my little dust buster, my Landmaster right here. This thing's great. American Landmaster. These things are great. This is like the cheapest 4-wheel drive thing like this you can buy. I did all this research and I just wanted a bare bones, and it's great. It's about $6,000, which sounds like a lot, but a lot of these things are like $12,000. Anyway, I love this thing. It's great. But it had just enough fuerza, power to pull this thing. Basically pulled on it, locked the brake real hard, and then I put the rocks under the wheels. And then I went to the tree, and there was so much pressure on the tree from the ATV that I was able to push it straight. Now I've got Manuel putting dirt on this side, and he's packing it really hard. So when we take off the pressure from the crane and the little guy, basically you have a huge vehicle that probably weighs 25,000 pounds or something, partnering with a little baby nothing over there. And together, as a team, we got it done. So there you go. Get all cleaned up here finally. And just like that, my good friends, paradise has arrived. Look at that. So this is kind of a good lesson here. This has been like bothering me for a while, having to get this tree dug up at our nursery, having to load it on the truck, tie it all up, get it down the road, get it here, and then maybe the crane can do it, maybe it can't. It's been keeping me up a little bit. Like literally for like a year or so, just haven't got around to it. But anyway, I finally got it done. And now I can move on to step number 2 of the remaining 498 steps to get this garden totally up to snuff. But, this is a good thing. It's like, what you want to do with these gardens, big gardens especially, you got to take it one step at a time, just like everything with life, that's complicated. You kind of do, you map out a little bit of what you're going to do, and then you figure out what's the next most important step, or what's the next step that needs to be done as a prerequisite for, getting the project moving along. And you just focus on that one and that one alone. You totally focus until that one's done. Once that one's done, you're going to feel a sense of accomplishment. And it's going to clear your brain to be able to think about other things, the next thing. Then you can fully focus your brain on the next thing, because your brain is really not being bothered by the one thing. So here we go. So there's one more step out of I don't know how many that are here. I have so many. I'm going to put a Chiricea tree here and another one there. It'll be a tunnel of Chiricea. We need some leafy material here. We have a lot of palms. Love my palms. But you need your leafy material as well. And so you can see how beautiful this palm fills that space. It was naked before. The creek is going to go around it. These things are native to these beautiful arroyos up in the mountains. What are the mountains called? Forget the mountains that are behind Todos Santos. But anyway, it gives a whole sense of see, it's perfect. So if you had the little baby on this side, it would be in your face, but it's not. Mama bear, she's just above my head, no problem. And so it gives a really, really good sense of enclosure. And now when you sit here, look, where's the power pole? I don't see a power pole. There's no power pole anymore. It's gone. That's right. Well, see, there it is. There it is. But you're not going to be focused on that because unless you were sitting here and it was right in front of your face. That's another really important reason why this tree needs to be here. There's multiple reasons it needs to be here. It defines the space. It gives us some verticality, punctuation of vertical plane. Punctuates the horizontal plane here. And then down there. And these trees will get even taller and here. And it is a repetition of what is already here. In the native landscape, you'll see lots of repetition of species. You won't just see one tree. So that really is important in gardening to replicate. But most importantly, one step at a time, everybody. That's the only way to get things done. I want you to take the advice of Mr. Millipede, right? I mean, look, what's he doing? Well, he's not really taking one step at a time. He's taking like 1,000 steps at a time. A millipede. I'm sure he doesn't have 1,000 feet, but he's taking one step at a time. You see his little feet? Even though he has lots of feet. And eventually, if he just keeps going, he'll get there. And so that's what you want to do in life. Just take one step at a time, and you'll eventually get there. And, if you suddenly, once this COVID thing is over, you want to go to a really cool place. In fact, you probably want to come here during COVID because there's no bodies, there's no humans as far as you can see. But go to my website. I wasn't really going to open this up I'm not going to put it on Airbnb for the general public until it's totally done. But look, there's no humans as far as you can see. It's great. All directions. I wasn't going to open this up until I'm totally done with the landscape. That'll probably never happen. So for you guys, anybody who wants to come here that is a client of mine or knows me on YouTube or whatever, then that's totally fine. Because you'll understand that it's a process. And if it's not finished, you'll give me some leeway. But go to the website, goldengatepalms.com. I believe there's a section called More. And in this section called More, there's the Winter's Citrus Ranch Rental. And I have all these links for everything you could do in winters. It's a wonderful place. I don't have any pictures of the house, of the inside of the house. I have to do that. Maybe I'll just make a video. It's much easier. And then you can click on the video. I'll do that. That's much easier. And then you can come up and rent this place and help me pay the property taxes. And and that's pretty much it. Stay alive out there. Stay alive. Be careful breathing.